The 1970s delivered horror cinema's most nightmarish decade. These 20 films mastered psychological terror, supernatural dread, and visceral scares that remain genuinely frightening today. Number 20. The Hills Have Eyes, 1977.
Mister, don't take your family back in that area. The silver has been gone for 40 years now. Besides, there's nothing back in there but animals.
Wes Craven's brutal desert nightmare follows a suburban family stranded in Nevada, hunted by cannibals. The film's realistic violence and survivalist themes create genuine unease as civilized people become savage. Craven explores humanity's capacity for violence through isolated setting and relentless tension. The cannibal family represents primal fear, while the nuclear family's transformation provides disturbing social commentary. Despite low budget, it achieves remarkable psychological impact through atmosphere and character development. Desert locations feel authentically threatening while family dynamics create complex moral questions. Number 19. Let's Scare Jessica to Death, 1971.
Calling on all the spirits of everyone who's ever died in this house. Jessica.
This psychological masterpiece follows Jessica recovering from mental breakdown as she encounters supernatural phenomena at a remote farmhouse. Zora Lampert's fragile performance creates empathy, while ambiguous narrative questions reality. Director John Hancock crafts mounting dread through rural isolation and unreliable narration. The film treats mental illness sensitively, while maintaining genuine scares through atmospheric tension. Minimalist design and careful pacing create unease without graphic violence. Gothic atmosphere and ghostly imagery explore themes of sanity and perception. This forgotten gem proves psychological horror can be more terrifying than any monster. Number 18. Black Christmas, 1974. Bob Clark's proto-slasher creates sustained terror through obscene phone calls and unseen killers stalking sorority sisters during Christmas break. Holiday settings subvert seasonal comfort while anonymous POV killer remains mysterious. Olivia Hussey, Margot Kidder, and Andrea Martin create actual characters rather than typical victims. Obscene calls provide disturbing audio content while advancing plot. Clark emphasizes psychological tension over graphic violence, influencing Halloween and countless imitators. Sorority House becomes increasingly claustrophobic as body count rises. Feminist themes about women's safety feel ahead of their time for 1970s horror cinema. Number 17, The Changeling, 1980. George C.
Let's see, about 12 years ago. It's been with the Historical Society for the past 12 years. There we go.
Scott stars as composer haunted by child spirit in this supernatural masterpiece. Director Peter Medak creates genuine dread through pacing and sound design rather than graphic imagery. The mansion becomes a character itself, holding dark secrets and phenomena. Scott's performance anchors emotional core while child spirit provides frightening moments. Classic haunted house elements feel fresh through skillful execution. Slow burn approach builds sustained tension, culminating in terrifying revelations. Atmospheric cinematography and eerie score contribute to otherworldly mood, exploring grief and justice. Contemporary horror fans seeking intelligent scares will find this overlooked masterpiece deeply satisfying. 16. Burnt Offerings, 1976.
So you are the people who want to rent this house?
What do you mean it's $900 and then it's what?
Oh, there is one other thing.
This haunted house thriller follows a family whose summer rental gradually corrupts them through supernatural influence. Karen Black and Oliver Reed deliver committed performances as parents, becoming increasingly disturbing. Director Dan Curtis creates mounting dread through the Victorian mansion's malevolent presence. The house feeds off human life while manipulating inhabitants toward violence. Atmospheric design and careful pacing build unease without graphic violence. The film explores domestic dysfunction and supernatural possession while maintaining psychological realism. Period details and Gothic imagery create authentic Victorian atmosphere. 15. Don't Look Now, 1973. Nicholas Roeg's psychological masterpiece follows grieving parents encountering supernatural phenomena in Venice after their daughter's drowning. Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie capture genuine grief, while fragmented narrative mirrors emotional states. Dreamlike structure and stunning cinematography transcend traditional horror conventions. Venice's decaying beauty provides perfect backdrop for death and renewal themes. The mysterious red-coated figure haunts characters and audience. Supernatural elements remain deliberately ambiguous, allowing psychological or paranormal interpretation. The famous love scene demonstrates artistic vision while advancing character development. 14. Martin, 1978.
My name is Martin. I'm 84 years old. People think I'm crazy when I tell them how old I am.
George Romero's vampire deconstruction follows disturbed young man who believes he's undead, but uses syringes instead of fangs. John Amplas delivers haunting performance as Martin, whose psychological state remains deliberately ambiguous. The film questions whether he's supernatural or mentally ill, creating complex interpretation layers. Pittsburgh's urban decay provides realistic backdrop, exploring alienation and family dysfunction. Romero emphasizes character psychology over traditional vampire mythology, creating unique genre entry. Low budget enhances gritty realism, while innovative narrative structure maintains engagement. Martin influenced later vampire films challenging conventional mythology while demonstrating Romero's versatility beyond zombie cinema. Contemporary audiences seeking intelligent horror find this character study deeply unsettling and emotionally complex. 13. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Tobe Hooper's visceral nightmare follows teenagers encountering cannibalistic family in rural Texas. Despite minimal gore, it feels relentlessly violent through sound design and kinetic editing. Oppressive heat and claustrophobic house create genuine discomfort, mirroring characters' terror. Gunnar Hansen's Leatherface becomes iconic through physical performance. Documentary-style cinematography creates verisimilitude, making horror feel possible. Social commentary about rural poverty adds depth beyond slasher thrills. The chainsaw scenes provide disturbing imagery, influencing countless imitators. Contemporary audiences find the raw energy and uncompromising vision still shocking, despite decades of explicit horror. Number 12, Spuria, 1977.
From Spuria.
Dario Argento's supernatural masterpiece transforms German Ballet Academy into nightmarish fairy tale filled with witches. Jessica Harper anchors surreal narrative, while Goblin's score creates constant tension. Technicolor cinematography and elaborate design create unique visual experience, feeling like art installation. Argento emphasizes style over substance, creating pure cinema, relying on imagery and sound. The Academy becomes increasingly claustrophobic as supernatural forces close in. Graphic violence punctuates atmospheric dread, while maintaining dreamlike quality. Witch mythology provides rich background while modern setting creates effective juxtaposition. Number 11, Dawn of the Dead, 1978.
We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends.
George Romero's zombie epic transforms shopping mall into ultimate survival scenario, while providing social commentary about consumer culture. Four protagonists create genuine dynamics facing overwhelming undead hordes. Tom Savini's makeup effects showcase violence serving story rather than shock. Mall setting provides advantages and psychological comfort, representing American materialism. Romero balances action with character development, creating emotional investment alongside thrills. The film explores civilization's fragility and human cooperation under pressure. Number 10, Museum for Based Alien, 1979. Ridley Scott's science fiction horror creates claustrophobic terror aboard space vessel. Invaded by perfect killing machine, Sigourney Weaver's Ripley becomes cinema's most iconic final girl, while Ensemble creates believable working-class characters. H.R. Geiger's biomechanical alien design provides disturbing imagery, feeling both sexual and mechanical. Slow burn approach builds tension through pacing and production design, making spacecraft feel authentic. Scott emphasizes atmosphere over action, creating dread through suggestion. The chest-burster scene provides shocking moments while advancing plot. Contemporary audiences appreciate feminist themes and influence on later filmmaking. Number 9, Move 'em Halloween, 1978. John Carpenter's slasher masterpiece creates sustained terror through Michael Myers, stalking teenagers in suburban Illinois. Jamie Lee Curtis delivers star-making performance, while Donald Pleasance provides urgency as Dr. Loomis. Carpenter emphasizes atmosphere over graphic violence through pacing and cinematography. Suburban Haddonfield setting subverts middle-class safety, while Anonymous Killer represents pure evil. Dean Cundy's cinematography and Carpenter's score create lasting aesthetic impact. The film explores adolescent sexuality and adult responsibility beyond slasher thrills. Myers becomes iconic through physical presence rather than elaborate backstory. Modern viewers appreciate technical craftsmanship and establishment of slasher conventions continuing to influence contemporary horror. Carrie, 1976.
The girl no one likes.
Oh, sorry about this incident, Cassie.
It's Carrie!
Brian De Palma's Stephen King adaptation creates sympathy for telekinetic protagonist while delivering memorable prom massacre. Sissy Spacek captures vulnerability and rage while Piper Laurie's religious mother provides genuine menace. The film explores adolescent bullying and religious extremism, feeling relevant to contemporary issues. De Palma's stylistic flourishes create visual sophistication, maintaining emotional authenticity. High school setting grounds supernatural elements in recognizable social dynamics. Telekinetic effects serve character development, creating empathy for tormented protagonists. The prom sequence builds tension before exploding into emotionally justified violence. 7-7. Gan, Silence and Players, adopted back me and Pio. Gregory Peck's performance and Lee Remick's maternal concern create investment, while Harvey Stevens provides unsettling child villain. The film explores faith, parenthood, and evil, feeling intimate and apocalyptic. Jerry Goldsmith's Oscar-winning score creates authentic religious atmosphere. Death sequences showcase creative effects, serving plot while providing memorable imagery. Biblical prophecy adds mythological depth, while modern setting creates effective juxtaposition. Contemporary audiences appreciate serious treatment of religious themes and exploration of parental responsibility. 6.
Did you hear your father? Out of the water now!
This shark, swallow you whole.
Sustained terror through masterful direction. Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw create memorable characters, while Mechanical Shark becomes effective antagonist. 3-act structure builds from isolated attacks to community panic with perfect pacing. Spielberg minimizes shark appearances, creating effective scares through suggestion. Amity Island setting and summer atmosphere create false security, making attacks shocking. John Williams' score and cinematography create lasting impact, influencing countless films. The Indianapolis speech provides character depth while advancing themes about survival. 5. Rosemary's Baby. Roman Polanski's paranoid masterpiece follows pregnant woman suspecting neighbors are Satan worshippers, planning to use her baby. Mia Farrow's vulnerable performance creates empathy, while ensemble provides believable menace through ordinary behavior. Realistic New York setting grounds supernatural elements in urban reality. Polanski emphasizes psychological terror over graphic imagery through pacing and character development. Exploration of pregnancy, marriage, and female autonomy feels relevant to contemporary gender dynamics. Apartment building becomes claustrophobic as paranoia mounts, and escape becomes impossible. Religious symbolism provides rich themes while maintaining mainstream accessibility. Number 4. The Shining, 1980. Stanley Kubrick's psychological masterpiece transforms Stephen King's haunted hotel into meditation on isolation and madness. Jack Nicholson's unhinged performance and Shelley Duvall's terror create unease, while Overlook Hotel becomes character itself. Kubrick's direction and cinematography create visual impact through symmetrical compositions. Hotel's supernatural history and winter isolation provide backdrop for psychological deterioration. Ambiguous approach to supernatural versus psychological allows multiple interpretations while maintaining scares. Wendy Carlos's score creates authentic atmosphere while timeless themes ensure relevance. Number 3. The Exorcist, 1973.
I need reassignment.
You're the best we've got.
I think I've lost my faith.
William Friedkin's demonic possession masterpiece remains genuinely terrifying through realistic approach to supernatural evil. Ellen Burstyn's desperate mother and Jason Miller's conflicted priest create emotional authenticity, while Linda Blair's possessed child provides iconic imagery. Medical and religious investigations ground supernatural events in reality. Dick Smith's makeup effects create disturbing visuals feeling real rather than artificial. Friedkin emphasizes character psychology and religious themes while delivering shocking moments. Georgetown's setting provides realistic backdrop, while possession sequences create claustrophobic terror. Number 2. The Wicker Man, 1973. Robin Hardy's folk horror masterpiece depicts Christian police sergeant investigating missing child on pagan Scottish island. Edward Woodward's devoted investigator clashes with Christopher Lee's charismatic Lord Summerisle in battle between faiths. The film builds dread through cultural conflict rather than violence, using pagan rituals and folk songs to create unsettling atmosphere. Scottish locations provide authentic backdrop while exploring themes of sacrifice and religious certainty. The shocking conclusion delivers one of cinema's most memorable endings, raising complex questions about belief and moral authority. This influential thriller demonstrates how horror can emerge from ideological differences rather than supernatural threats, creating lasting impact through intelligent storytelling. Number 1. Possession, 1971.
You have someone.
Yes.
Do you sleep with him?
Yes.
This psychological horror masterpiece follows former mental patient whose grip on reality deteriorates when she inherits remote estate. Joan Hackett delivers tour-de-force performance as unstable protagonist whose paranoid delusions may be supernatural encounters. Director Curtis Harrington crafts atmospheric thriller, keeping viewers guessing about true nature of events. The isolated mansion becomes increasingly claustrophobic as mental state deteriorates and mysterious events escalate. Themes of mental illness, inheritance, and family secrets create complex interpretation layers while maintaining genuine scares. The ambiguous ending refuses easy answers, allowing viewers to draw conclusions about supernatural versus psychological explanations. This forgotten gem demonstrates sophisticated horror filmmaking, achieving remarkable artistic success on minimal budget. These nightmare-inducing classics prove that 70s horror mastered psychological terror better than any other decade. Which film still haunts your dreams? Subscribe for more horror deep dives